We're back. We're back. Wake Up Riverbend, episode number 9. We've got a really wonderful guest tonight. Great friend of mine. I've known this young man for a very, very, very long time. Incredible contributor to our community. Just an all-around amazing person. So I'm jacked. It's a new year. It's not a new me. It's the same me, actually. And I'm going to bring back my more attractive half, Katie. Katie, how are you? How are you?
Good.
Katie?
How are you doing, Adam?
Happy Thursday. How
Happy
are you?
Thursday.
Life good? Life good?
Life's good. It's already middle of January.
I know. Like I look down, it's January 12th.
Did you
It's like
make any resolutions?
I don't do it. So do I do resolutions? Yeah. So did I put down a couple of hardcore, like non-negotiable goals for this year? Yep. But I do weekly and monthly goals. So far, I'm on pace. I hit one of my yearly goals already, actually.
Nice.
I already hit one of my yearly goals. So how about you? What about you? But talk to me about your New Year's resolutions.
I don't really have one this year. I've made a couple that, I'm not going to keep, like eat more vegetables and things like that. That's not going to happen. So
How about no cussing? No cussing in 2023? Can you make that happen, Katie?
That's hard. But I do have a 2.5-year-old, so the cussing at home has definitely decreased.
That's good.
That's for sure.
You know what? Let's not knock New Year's resolutions because I do believe at some level it's a good restart for people. Here's the thing as an entrepreneur, I don't want to cut anyone down. I want to give hope. I want people to feel encouraged and empowered. But you see so many people that talk crap on the New Year's resolutionist. And you know what? At some level, I can relate. I understand what people are saying. Everybody wants to make the New Year's resolution. Like we talk about the gym, for instance. You notice how the gym in January and February, what's the gym look like?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy, right? And then March slows down a bit. But at the end of the day, we need to encourage people. That's what I think we need to do. We need to
in my business of what I do, I do a lot of weight loss coaching, and it's funny because you think January would be my busiest month, but it's not. It's March. And a lot of these people that have these goals maybe don't know how to go about reaching them or don't know what resources there are out there to reach them, but also just have, some issues that keep them from losing weight. So then the first 2 months they try, and then all of a sudden here it is March. They're like, okay, I've got nowhere in 2 months. I'll reach out for help. So that's typically when I see people. And I think there's an issue with balance too, with a lot of the gung-hoers, and I think that'll be a good subject to talk to our guest about today.
Yeah. Balance is always hard, but let's talk about goals for a minute. So here's the thing about goals, and I'll talk to our audience a bit. A goal is a goal. If you don't have a written action plan, your goal is a goal, and sometimes that goal can be a wish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's what I tell people: write the goal, but write actionable steps to hit the goal. And then share the goal with somebody doing more than you that will hold you accountable. That's the only way to hit the target. And, I found that exercise about a handful of years ago. And, I'm so grateful for that. So what else is new? Tell me, Katie, tell me about your business right now. What's happening right now? How are you guys doing at the chiropractic firm and your hormone business? How are things going?
Good, busy. It's a busy time of year for us, and the hormones are good. I had the opportunity to work my own front desk this week because my front desk manager's birthday was this week, and I didn't want to make her come in hungover. So I came in, and so I got to talk to some of the patients, like as they were checking out, and hear their success stories with it. And so that was really cool. And yeah, it's I'm always learning, always doing something. We have our new virtual coaching stuff that I'm doing a lot more of. So I made a website, thegutdoctors.net, and you can read all kinds of stuff about GI and gut on there. And it's just, there's always stuff to be learned. I absolutely do not know everything. And I learn something new every single week, and I love it. And I'm married to a guy who does nothing but research. So it's even more amazing.
Smart. Yeah, Jake's
like a constant seminar.
The smartest guy I know. I think Jake. There's two guys, Joe St. John and Jake Shearer, the two smartest guys I know.
He really is.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's great. Here's the thing too. This year, I forecasted in my business, my insurance firm. I'm nervous. I think it's gonna be a tough year. I'm not one of those like let's dwell on it. I don't doom, I don't gloom, but I think there's a lot of economic uncertainty. I'm nervous, but I'm preparing. I'm telling my team the name of the game right now is market share. We need to sign more business right now because the deals that we're signing are going to produce less because of the market conditions. So here's what we'll do. We're going to bring our guest in. Here, you and I both have known JR. I can't, Lawrence, his name's Lawrence. I can't call him Lawrence. I'm not going to call him Lawrence. It's JR. So we've known JR a long time. JR is, I'm excited about every guest that we've had on the show. I genuinely have a relationship with everybody that we've had on the show. They're phenomenal, but something about tonight, I think there's going to be some fireworks, Katie. I really do. This young man's got more energy than me. And I told him he's not allowed to wear a shirt, but the guy's wearing a shirt. So let me bring JR in real quick. JR, welcome, my brother. Welcome. How are you? How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. So let's introduce. So we've got Lawrence Gordon. We've got JR here, Alton native, professional bodybuilder, entrepreneur, husband to one, mentor to many. You do a little bit of everything. All right. So let's start this show with a bang. Tell the audience, who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, man, I don't know if I can follow up that introduction, but yeah, thank you a bunch, man. So obviously, my name is Lawrence Gordon Jr., also known as JR in the community. I've been personal training since I was 20 years old. So I haven't punched in a time clock since I was 20 years old. And actually, the last time I punched in a time clock was with your last guest, and that was with Al Womack. I was a mentor at the Alton Boys and Girls Club. A little bit about me. I am a competitive bodybuilder. I've been a pro since 2018. Been a personal trainer, obviously, since 2011. I've had the luxury of working with both of you. So that is a huge...
kicked my butt. You kicked my butt. I'm so scared of you, by the way.
No, man. There's nothing to be scared about, man. You know that. So along the way, I've gotten a chance to work with a ton of athletes where I ended up going into being a national judge for bodybuilding as well as a posing coach. So, I mean, if that has anything to do with fitness, man, I've pretty much done it as far as weight loss, muscle gain, recomposition, athletes, hormone stuff. Even I've had the honor because I have a mentor that I'm mentoring under that deals with and has direct access to doctors. So it's just I'm just constantly learning. I can't get enough of helping people in the best way, or else giving them access to help others. To giving them access to where they can be helped. So that is my biggest thing.
Love it. So you've been in fitness forever. Why bodybuilding? Like, when did you know, like, hey, I want to like be a pro because I remember before you were pro. I remember you were an amateur, right? Like, when did you know, hey, I want to be a pro bodybuilder? That's what I want to do. Like, when did that happen?
Well, I've always been in the athletic realm. In high school, I played basketball, I dabbled in soccer, and I also did track. So after that, I kind of fell into weightlifting as well as, obviously, I went to the personal training, and I was just like, man, I got an itch. I want to do something more. And actually, I got introduced to bodybuilding by a girl by the name of Trish Holmes. Trish Holmes and me and her, we are like aces. We've always been really close. And she knew some bodybuilders, and she knew that they were going to be doing a show in St. Louis. So I was like, okay, bodybuilding. Obviously, my very first thing I thought about was steroids, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this, but there's no way I'm ever going to do steroids. So I'm just going to watch and enjoy the muscles, right? So she took me to a natural show. And I was like, so none of these guys are on steroids, and they look phenomenal, by the way. So I was like, she was like, no, none of these people are. They're all natural. They've done no steroids ever. They're lifetime naturals. And I was just so impressed. And there was a guy that came out, and he was tall. So I thought that bodybuilders was always going to be short, stocky, your typical little guys. And so I was like, and then all of a sudden he came out and he looked like a giant statue. I was just like, no freaking way. I was like, I like this. So it kind of sparked me from there. After the show, he ended up winning. I got a chance to go up and introduce myself to him. His name was Terry Starks. Dude, he
Michael
was a
Perry.
joy. Yeah, so he was
Yeah.
a joy to be around. He immediately was like, "Hey, I see something in you. Give me a call." He ended up being my coach 2 months later. I never turned my back from there, man.
Wow. Well, that's
As far
amazing.
as pro, like you were saying, once I'm in it, once I'm in something, I'm fully committed, and I want to try to reach that to the highest level that I feel like I can take it. So I was like, okay, I've gotten second, I've gotten third, I've gotten fifth, I've gotten not even called out. I don't like losing, so I wanted to see if I could take it, and I ended up getting my pro card and winning back in 2018, and I've been moving forward from there, man.
Yeah, you
Can
have.
show me your first show, JR? What year was that? I was there.
My very first show, that was
2013?
2013.
Yeah.
13.
I still have
Wow.
I still have the shirt from your first show that we made.
Heck yeah.
I do. I wear it. It's super soft.
Really?
It-
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So
you know I
one thing
love
too.
my
One thing.
families.
So Katie's people, my people, JR's people. Make sure we share this out. This is one thing I do a really bad job of, and I'll admit it, is I don't ask enough people to share this out, right? So for our people in our community, we want to share and we want to celebrate our boy JR. Share this out, share this out, share this out.
Sure.
So I want to make sure I make that point. So 2013 was the first show. I didn't know. I thought it would have been like 16 or 17. I didn't know that
JR
was
did his first show when he was training me when I did my first one, remember? As
Yes.
well. So we did our first together and he almost killed me. I know sore. I know sore. I've done weightlifting since I was 12. I've been in every sport competitively. JR killed me one day. And then he made me go outside and run sprints. And I look like a baby giraffe. And on day 5 of being sore, I considered seeking medical attention. I was like, what is wrong with me? And it's my fault too, because I was like, didn't tell him it was too much. And I came back and I was like, Jared, you killed me. He was like, all right, we don't have to do as much. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Thank God.
I used to love working. They are. Hey, I'll tell you right now, working with you, I've had a lot of personal trainers. I've had some great ones. Great personal trainers. Chad, great trainer. You were a great trainer. I'll tell you, you beat the snot out of me, man. Like Court, I would tell Court, same thing. We're scared to death of you, man.
But don't be scared. Don't be scared
No,
if you're with JR.
it's not about being scared. I take that back.
Levels.
It is you produce. No. You demand results.
Yeah.
You demand results. That's what you get as results. Who's your ideal client, JR? So for our community, everybody in Alton, Godfrey, Wood River, like who is your ideal client? Who should come see you? We're going to get into UFit here in a minute. Who should come to your gym and who should come train with you? Why?
So that's a beautiful question. One of the things that I wanted to come on here and what a New Year's resolution, right? Is I want to embody the word we. It can't be about JR anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like for years, it's been about JR and what JR can produce. Now that I own my own business, I have to embody we. And it's all about the client. So UFit, right? So that's my company's name. So I want to make sure that whenever you come through those doors, no matter where you're coming from or no matter what your goal is, we want to be able to service you. And it may not be JR. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make sure JR is now UFit. It is no longer JR anymore. And so I want to make sure that the ideal client is whoever walks through that door. So just to sum it up, the ideal client is whoever walks through that door.
Love it.
Make their service in the best position.
Yeah, and you got a good team. I know you're working with your lovely wife Kendra. So I know you're a newlywed. Like talk to. So what's that like? You're a newlywed, right? I mean, so how long have you been married now? You've been with Kendra you've been dating Kendra for how long?
I've been dating Kendra for 7 years.
Wow.
7 years, and we got married November 19th of 2022. And like we said, it's not very different except for all of the paperwork. Now there's more of a quote unquote time crunch because I'm a very religious man and I don't believe in having kids before marriage, right? And so everybody's been wondering, when are you going to knock her up? I'm like, come on, guys, let's not do that. And so now there's a time crunch of obviously there's no good time to have children. It just kind of happens, right? But things you can put in place.
Are you
To
telling us
lessen
something
the
here? Is there an innuendo here? Is there something you're getting ready to lead to here, brother?
She's not pregnant. I guarantee you, she's not pregnant.
Okay, Kendra. I mean,
There was a couple of things that we wanted to make sure that are in place that we can be the most effective in our eyes for our child. So the biggest thing is time. The thing that you can never take back time. So while we're learning this little human and that human is learning us, we want to make sure we have the time to spend and to invest into this human that is its own person. I mean, you can't determine what a person is going to do, but you can aid and assist, right? And so as they're growing, so the biggest thing that we wanted to make sure is that our business is good, just in case he cries too hard. I'm going home.
yeah, I love that. I love that. That's amazing. So, like, do you guys have like a timeline? I mean, is it like a year, 2 years, 3 years? Like, what do you? I mean, here I'm throwing it out there. Like, what? How soon you been? Having a kid, there's nothing better than having a little one. Katie, amen. Right? Right?
Yeah, and you're never going to regret what you just said. Jake and I have been together for 15 years, and we have a 2.5-year-old. So that's, waiting that time, learning each other, growing up together, learning how to talk to each other first takes 7 to 10 years before you bring another person into the mix and then put all that stress. And it's just so much better. And like I said, I own my own business too. And that you're never ready. And people say, oh, you're never ready. You're never ready. Well, no, you're never really ready, but you can do things to make yourself less stressed out. And we did those things and we took our time, and that was such a blessing. And I spend more time with my child and work than most moms get to. And I am very blessed to say that.
Praise God. Praise God.
That is a very good thing to do, JR.
Yeah. And one thing, JR, and I'll say this about you, and we talk about you are religious, and you and I used to go to church together, and you brought me, you were the first one to invite me to Abundant Life, which I do like going there. You have this positivity around you. Like I've known you for a long time now. I don't think I've ever seen you in a bad mood. Like your mindset and your level of positivity, it seems like it's running at all times. How and why is that? Like, what do you do? Because bad days are real. Bad days are real. There's bad people in our lives. There's people that life is not always unicorns and rainbows. How do you keep your composure? And how do you stay so darn positive all of the time, JR?
Man, life is truly a blessing. And I had to learn that at a very young age. So I actually lost my mother due to cancer at age 16.
Okay.
So I had to grow up really, really, really freaking fast. I'm one of four. So I have a brother and two sisters. And then my father, he actually came from Jackson, Mississippi, and he has nothing more than a second grade education. So our family is built off of learning as we go, built off of adversity, very poverty stricken family. So, and I was actually the very first of my family to actually graduate both high school and college. So, yeah, so
amazing.
So I've been always so grateful for everything. You know what I'm saying? Just every day is a blessing to be on this earth. And as long as you can remind yourself of that, everything else is easy. It gets easier, but as you grow, you learn, and you just learn that if you step back and get out of yourself for a second, you'll realize what you're upset about is minute. And if you just breathe and just take a second, and sometimes if someone is saying something, they may not be saying it in the best way, but there is always a lesson that you can be learned past how they're saying it. Sometimes it's what they're saying.
Wow. That's very profound. I believe that a good mood and a bad mood, I think it's a decision. I think it's a decision that we make, and having that mindset and being able to wake up. And you said something that really hit my heart is you talk about gratitude. I'm going to grab something real quick. So like I start my day, I have a daily worksheet that I fill out every morning. And in the right side there's 5 boxes that say, what are you grateful for? And for those out watching this show, you want to start your day in a positive light, start it in gratitude. pause for a minute upon awakening and think about the things in your life that you're grateful for, your children, your spouse, your job, the roof over your head, the food in your fridge. Sometimes we forget about these things that we have that are true blessings. And then we go off into work and we get upset on the way to work. Maybe we got cut off, or maybe somebody said something to us at Quick Trip when we're getting a coffee, right? So we get in these negative moods over nothing. So if you can start your day in gratitude, like you talk about, JR, life's good. Life's really good. I love that. So I got a question for you, because this is killing me. I need to know this. Like, you're super ripped. I think last time I saw you with your shirt off, I counted 27 abs. I don't know why it's an odd number. I'll never forget why that one's by itself. But let me ask you this question, Mr. Abs. Say on what's today, Thursday. Let's pretend that Saturday you got to start prep and you got to get back into training. But tomorrow you can eat and drink whatever the heck you want. What does that day look like? JR's got one day you're not allowed at the gym. You're not allowed to even talk to customers. You can't go to the gym, but you can go to 3 restaurants. All right. What are you eating tomorrow? I got to know. What are you eating and drinking?
Well, I am a creature of habit, man. Very, very simple, man. It's going to be, you said 3 restaurants. So I have 3 restaurants that I frequent. And these are 3 different styles of food that I like to frequent whenever I am indulging. It's going to be some enormous burger. I don't know where it's going to be because I love all the burgers. I don't discriminate. So
have you had a chicken pig burger?
Chicken pig. Oh,
chicken pig burger.
You said chicken pig burger? You know what? I haven't gotten the luxury. So I've been in prep all of 2022. So I actually started my prep in 2021 in October, and I've been in prep for a calendar year. So that wasn't on my to go.
You haven't had a burger in a year?
I've had a burger, but whenever you're in prep, man, I'm not thinking about, where can I go now? Where can I go now? I need what I need. I need it now, and I need to get it done. And then we need to keep moving forward. But I heard that they have phenomenal.
You got to try it.
I got to try it, man.
I ate one in front of Jake last week when he was fasting. It was fun.
Yes. Is he doing intermittent fasting right now?
No, he does like a fast. He does a 48-hour fast every week.
Oh, wow. Just kind of as a cleanse?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The reason's crazy. But anyway. Okay, burger. What's next?
You get your burger. What else besides a burger?
This is going to be weird. So I like IHOP. I mean, it's just a regular chain, but I love my cheesecake pancakes, and I get 2 stacks as well as 2 omelets. And people don't believe that I can eat that much. I'm like, when your metabolism runs as high as mine, I can eat you out of house and home. I guarantee you. And then last, it's going to be a good pizza. I mean, I like all kinds of pizza, flatbreads, thick pizzas. I like Chicago style. Whatever kind of pizza it is, I'm going to down it. Emo's pizza.
Pizza's pretty tough to dislike.
I was going to say something earlier about JR being in a bad mood. I have seen JR in a bad mood, and it's when he's hungry. I just tease it.
And I try to keep to myself, right?
Yes, he's like, don't talk to me. I'm over here at the microwave. Like, talk to me after I'm done.
Once I eat this, I'm good.
So you're it's not just in my opinion, it's fact. I mean, you're a successful entrepreneur.
Thank you.
So like morning routines, I found a direct correlation with super achievers. Super achievers have structure, they have organization, they have discipline, and they have morning routines. And these morning routines I have found are kind of non-negotiable. So tell us, what does that look like for you? What time do you get up? What's your morning look like? What's the structure? What do you do in the mornings?
Yeah, so like you said, non-negotiables. I preach that all the time. I get up every morning at 3:45. So I have 2 alarms. I'm usually up at 3:45, and then I have another one that goes off at 4 a.m. every single morning. I start my clients at 5 a.m. I believe in making sure that I am in my facility and the vibe is set and that I'm present before my client gets there. So I like to make sure that the building's warm, they feel warm and fuzzy. So I'm at my building no later than 4:30, and I'm getting everything prepped. And then from there, because I take my meals with me daily. So I started eating my very first meal. I take my vitamins and I start on my water. And then I'm meeting my clients. Very first thing, 5 a.m. is when I start every day.
Wow, the 5 a.m. So UFit, you guys have been in business. Tell us a little bit too about your business. So, when did you start it? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Tell us about your products and your services.
Yeah, so I came in. So I have a partner. So I'm a co-owner of UFit Fitness and Wellness on Homer Adams on Kirby Street.
The old
So
Carol Cruise. Everybody knows that. The old
The
Carol
what?
on the old Fru's Bridal Building.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So my partner Aaron Scott, he started UFit in 2017, I believe. So it was 2 years before me and him got together. So me and him got together in 2019. He was uptown Alton, and we got together, and I was like, man, if I'm gonna bring my client load over here, I said we're gonna have to get a bigger building. We're gonna have to get it soon. And he was like, really? So he had no idea the capacity of what I brought. So within, I want to say a month's time, because I got with him in August, within a month's time, me and him got together. We got to looking for different buildings, and we found the ideal building with the ideal just traffic. And it was just a blessing to get that building. So that started in 2019. And obviously COVID hit. So what an unideal time, right? I mean, it hit us all like a whirlwind. And in the business that I'm in, obviously you need constant traffic and you need to be able to reach out to people. So I'm working hand in hand with people. So that's COVID is total opposite, right? Of that, right? So me, I've always been a pivoter and being able to overcome adversity since I was a little boy, as you guys know, like I was telling you. And so I was like, how do I still reach my people and not be face to face? So we pivoted to the online space and it was explosive. I mean, it was freaking explosive. So we started doing large Zoom calls to where Kendra and I would instruct people with just dumbbells and body weight. And we averaged on our Zoom calls over 90 people a day.
Whoa, shut the front door. Are
We
you kidding
had,
me?
dude,
Wow.
I wish I could. We kept that going for as long as we could once the world started opening up, and it still averaged about 25 to 30. But there was such a demand in house, so we had to eventually shut it down. But it was such a beautiful experience. We had people from, I think we gathered like 16 or 17 states. So we just brought families together. So we were like, hey, reach out to your family in Utah, reach out to your family in your other state. Let's all get together in these hard times and let's stay positive. And dude, we had to, we were like seizing up our chat rooms, and we had like multiple chat rooms. It
That's
was,
amazing.
yeah,
That's
man.
amazing. That's the stuff I like seeing right there. You said the word pivot. You said pivot. That's a pivot. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's awesome.
And
It's
so,
amazing what we all learned. And, Katie and I, we've talked a lot about this over the last couple of years, how COVID, it made you realize that here we're vulnerable. Business owners, we're vulnerable. I mean, the world, like right now, I own an insurance brokerage firm, and you know what? If the economy hits, well, here I've got my dealer clients selling less and less and less. Right? This year, there's economic uncertainty. I'm not going to go doom and gloom. I'm not going to go scared mode, but I've got to be conservative. And I also got to be realistic, right? We got to plan for things. That's the thing with entrepreneurs. We're vulnerable. We're vulnerable.
Well, JR knows as well as I do, if people don't have extra money, they're not going to pay a trainer and they're not going to come to the chiropractor unless they absolutely are dying, so it's, yeah, or come for meal plans or whatever. And so, that the economy definitely, I think, affects the small business owner in every way, even a teeth cleaning at the dentist, you know what I mean? Like it's going to affect everything.
It absolutely does. Yeah, it absolutely does. Here.
So at UFit, let me ask you this. Okay. I know you got you and Kendra. Is Birdie still there?
yes,
Birdie Clock and Kimber. She's awesome. Okay.
she's
Who else you got?
man. She is killing it.
Who else you got?
I got 9 trainers. So
Okay.
it is explosive. We are so blessed at UFit. I mean, I know big box gyms that don't have as many trainers as I do. So it's myself, Kendra, Birdie. We got a guy and he's killing it too. His name is Shane Phillips. My partner Aaron, Amy Golly, which is on, I think she's on the board for Alton High, or she's on some big, she's a big wig for Alton High. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I have a young girl, and she's an ex-gymnast, one of the best gymnasts to come out of Alton. Her name is Paige Mauser. She is a joy, man. I mean, we just have such a great culture. And I'm trying to think of who else I have. Oh, Abasa Brown, which was an all-area basketball player, hot shot. And now he's just such a great energy and an asset to what we have. And we also have a guy by the name of Demand. I forget his last name. Demand.
Well, you got a staff. I mean, you just said too, you said Alton High a second ago. Tell us a little bit about, break that down a little bit. I know you're involved. We talked about that a little bit earlier when I introduced you about you're doing. What led you to, what led you to working with Alton High? What are some of your goals with the high school? What are you trying to accomplish with that?
So obviously since COVID, these kids, it has really affected their mental health in all sports. I mean, and we think because we're adults that it affected us the most, but we got to look at these kids. They were mentally affected and they are still purging that energy and trying to get their mental health back intact. I mean, you guys got kids. I mean, I know you have 3 girls. I know that whenever they were confined to being in the house, that had to have been something that really bothered, and you had to keep them positive because literally their life was stripped of them, of what they know. And so we got a new basketball coach at Alton High. His name is Dylan Dudley. And he had heard about me in the community from the boys, and they were just like, yeah, Coach JR is, and they always refer to me as Coach JR, like, yeah, Coach JR, he used to own the Alton Little Redbirds. He's the guy that does all the fitness, and I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of the students individually, but not as a team. So he reached out to me. He was like, hey, man, I really am trying to remold this program in the best way. And I hear your name from everybody, from Barry Macias on down to all the kids, and they respect you and they love you. And I would love to have you on as the strength and conditioning coordinator for Alton High. I took right onto it because I knew the kids. I knew how they thought. I could, and I look like them. Right. So I knew that I could help them and kind of dig a little deeper and have a little empathy for them. And I'm like, so we've been working with them. So now since June. So I've been working with the boys basketball since June, and all the other sports had gotten wind of what I've been doing with the boys. So the girls are tagging along. I'm actually at the girls basketball game against Edwardsville right now. I'm in an office. If you guys,
that's amazing. That's commitment right there. Right now. Hey, that's commitment. I love it. That's commitment.
So I'm in the classroom right now. Did I miss the whole thing? Okay, they're in the 4th quarter, and Amy just came in. Shoot, I'm in missing this whole game, but I'm gonna get a recap of it.
That's awesome that you're doing what you're doing though with all. That's amazing. Giving back. You're helping people. From where you're from. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And that's the biggest thing that I want to really get into. And like I said, it's got to be larger. It's always got to be larger than just JR and how I can do something for somebody, but how can I give back to my community to better it? And obviously I'm going to have kids, and I want to make sure that they're in the best community that they can possibly be in, as far as academically, sports, and just in their, just Alton in general. I love Alton. You know what I'm saying? I could easily have moved away from Alton and become a mega trainer in California, wherever I wanted to go, but my work is not finished here.
There's no better place. I had a guy, one of my mentors flew in. He actually texted me on Sunday. His name's Joe St. John. He goes, hey, Adam. He goes, I've got a layover in St. Louis for 3 hours before I get back to Tulsa. He goes, I'm thinking about changing my flight for the next morning and coming to your gym, and I want to share a business idea. So I said, yeah, you're staying at my house. You're training jujitsu at my gym. I picked him up at the airport, and I showed him all around Alton. He was like, oh, my God, this place is freaking amazing. Yes, he thought it was beautiful. I was like, There's no better place, in my opinion, in the country. Hey, guess where I took them to eat, Katie, if you had to take a guess?
Tony's.
Your favorite.
I took them to
Jackie.
Tony's. Hey, I'm sorry. I love here. It's just what you do. But there's no better town, and I'm not going to discriminate against Wood River or East Alton or Hartford or Jerseyville. They're all wonderful places. This whole area is amazing. I'm an Alton Godfrey guy, kind of, right? I mean, this is kind of my area. In my opinion, there's no better place in the country. Not a better place in the country. That's just what I believe to be fact. Just a bunch of really great people. And I love how, Jerry, you talk about wanting to just give back and serve the community, because that's what this is about. Like, I posted something earlier. I tagged you, Katie. I think you get on the Facebook once every 6 days. But I tag you, Katie, because like I'm doing 100 projects right now. And out of all the projects, what you and I, this brings me joy. I like bringing guys on like JR and people into just sharing what we're doing in the community. And you brought up Al Womack earlier. I love Al. I mean, he was our last guy. What an amazing human. So how did you start with him? What were you doing exactly for Al?
Okay, dude, the stars just kind of aligned. He was brought in by another client of mine, which has done wonders for me over the years. He's just a beautiful person, and everybody knows him. John Simmons.
Yeah.
John Simmons, I'm his personal trainer. I'm the personal trainer of John Simmons, whatever.
He's kind of a big deal.
Stars.
He's kind of a big deal.
So his biggest thing is bringing community together as well. And I don't think he even understood the connection that Al and I had already. So Al Womack, he's always been into fitness. He's a humongous bear, right?
He's a big boy.
He's a
big boy.
Yeah. Lineman, huge, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's about taking care of his body in his later years. He's in his later years. I don't know if he cares if I tell him that he's 50 plus, but that's what he is. So he came into our group, and it's John Simmons, another partner of his, and Al, and we've created this group. And we've built a group that is basically fellowship in the name of fitness. So we fellowship every Tuesday and Thursday, and we get a good workout in. I help them out. Al has actually lost over 55 pounds with me.
He told us he's lost 50 pounds.
Yeah, he looks phenomenal. He really does look good.
Yeah, and we just all signed on for another year. And, dude, we're going full blaze. So it's just such a blessing to be able to lead other leaders. That's where I'm at now. So I'm helping have other leaders impact the masses. That's where JR is right now. So I want to touch as many homes, as many lives as I possibly can, and helping them just have a positive outlook and be a resource to them in life, no matter what that is. So even if you come into UFit and say, maybe I'm not your trainer, maybe I may overhear a conversation that I may have a resource to, I want to be able to give you that number, give you that information, hook you up with the right people that are meant for you. So,
I love it. The one thing I can say with full conviction, and JR, shame on me that I probably should pick up the phone more and call you. I think the three of us here, we get it because we're so overwhelmed with our businesses and our personal lives and everything. But I will say this, JR, about you. I don't think I've ever been more proud of anybody. Like, you are somebody that, I mean, just going back 4 or 5 years ago, and to see you as a younger man, I was rolling with you. You're younger than I am. I'm not going to say how much younger, but you're younger than I am. And I look up to you back then. I looked up to you because you're a man of God. You're a positive influence. You worship your spouse. You care about the community. Like, you are the total package. You are helping so many people. You are changing the world one person at a time. And that's why I was so excited to bring you here tonight, just to kind of, to share your story a little bit. But you're truly making impact, because Katie, you're in the same space where you're helping people with their health. In life, we talk about this all the time. We all we get up in the morning to make money, right? We make money, but money doesn't satisfy you. You're not taking money with you. What happens if you make $50 million, you're retired, you got 50 million bucks in the bank, but you're 100 pounds overweight, your cholesterol's through the roof, you can't breathe, and you can't do anything, right? Then what's the point? So you two are actually helping people live longer lives. So let me ask you this, because we're getting close to kind of our time here. So JR, a couple questions. First question is this. If 5 years from now, look at your business, where are you in 5 years? Where do you want to be? What are you doing in 5 years?
5 years, so obviously we're looking to expand now. So 5 years from now, I would like to be myself overseeing as well as being in an online space to where that I can help people from my home as well as spending time, with my little shorty or shorties, however, because I know we're planning on a baseline time of starting to try in the next 2 years, God willing. So that'll make my little kid 3 years old. So I want to make sure I'm with them as much as possible.
Yeah. Anna and Arabelle. You may not want Arabelle, but Anna. No, Arabelle too. Anna and Arabelle can babysit. So you got a couple babysitters. They like to make some money too.
I love it.
So yeah, no. And my last thing for you is this, because I'm a reader, and I don't know. I sometimes I assume everybody's a reader, but not everybody is a reader. But if you were to recommend a book to maybe some of the youth in the community, what is a book that you have read that you would recommend to somebody in the community that's trying to be more like you, or someone of an entrepreneurship status? What book have you read that's inspired you that you would recommend to somebody else?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, man. The oldie but goodie.
Great book.
Yes, for sure. And more than reading, because a lot of people are getting out of reading, or else they'll do an audio book. So we're both old, but we do need to get back to reading. But podcast, man. People, somebody that inspires you, somebody that speaks to your heart, that speaks to you. If somebody inspires you and motivates you, follow. If they have a podcast, follow their podcast. Follow what they're trying to do. Try to really dig into their lives, because a lot of people are really trying to talk about how they actually go about their day-to-day life. And if you can take a little piece from every person and that helps mold who you are, do that.
Amen. So. Well said. Very well said. Well, you know what, JR, I'm so glad, I know you're obviously busy tonight. I'm glad you took the time to spend some time with Katie and I. Katie, do you got anything from my boy JR before we?
No, it's just good to see you. I mean, we used to see each other all the time, and I see your Land Rover. There's JR all the time. Drive down there. I love that car, by the way. If you ever sell that, I want it. I want that car.
That's what everybody says. I love that.
That's so cool. But yeah, I see you do one of these, but I haven't seen you in person in so long. So I need to get into UFit. I've meant to get in there before, and I'm not gonna let you train me anymore, but maybe Kendra or Birdie or somebody.
anybody. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so JR, give Kendra my love. I love you, brother. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna do a better job of making sure I pick up that phone. Your gym's next to my gym. I need to pop my little butt in and at least say hi. Yes. And you do the same to me, bro. All right. So, all right. Have a good night. I love you, brother. Have a great night. We'll talk soon. Okay. We appreciate you. All right. We'll appreciate you, man.
All right.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm so proud of him. He's come so far. It's insane to see the growth out of that young man, and I wasn't joking. The 27 and a half, he's the dude.
I know.
I told him, I was like, you can't wear a shirt on our show. You got to show, you're the only guest that I'm going to say, don't wear a shirt. And the guy wore a shirt. So that was a fun interview. So Katie, what do you got going on this weekend? What do you got? Anything happening? Tell me.
I have a slow January. I'm not playing any music in January at all. So it's kind of just taking the month off, and on the weekends, you know me, I don't have anything planned. The next thing, like I said last time, next thing I have planned is something with you in February.
Do some axe throwing,
Yeah, we're gonna axe throw.
JR said something that I'll bring up before we shut it down is, looking at people doing good things and following them. Like, if you want to do something spectacular, find somebody doing things spectacular and do what they do. I mean, I don't believe in inventing anything. I'm not smart enough, but I do believe in innovation. I believe that we can take something from everyone. Katie, I've learned a lot from
Absolutely.
you. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned from your husband, Jake. I pick things up everywhere, right? Got to keep your eyes open, your ears open, be humble, admit that you don't know it all. Understand that life's short. We're not going to be here that long. We're no better than anyone, right? We're equal, but we can always learn. And I love JR's sense of humility. That's the thing that really attracts me to him, is his humility. So anyway, Katie, I love you so much. For those that have followed us, Wake Up Riverbend, we're so grateful. Continue to share out our feed, continue to invite people to like and follow us. Katie and I were just getting started. We're grateful. 2022 was our first year doing this. We can't commit to doing it weekly. We're trying to do it bi-weekly. Sometimes it's monthly. We're just going to give you as much as we can give you. That's Katie and I's commitment. We're going to give you what we can. But what we will do is we will continue to honor and celebrate people in our communities that are doing great things. So for those out there, if you know somebody that's really doing something to make a difference in the community, shoot Katie and I a message. We want to get to know you. We want to put you on our list. With that being said, Katie, you got anything else for our people?
Share.
Share. Have a great rest of your week. We love you. Peace out.